We all know that studying is important for a successful career and a better future. But did you know that the way you study can make a huge difference in your grades and your ability to retain what you learn? I remember back in university when I would pull all-nighters before an exam, barely scraping by with 4 or 5 hours of sleep and tons of coffee. I thought this was the only way to get good grades. However, after a while, I started to realize that there had to be a better way, because I was just tired all the time. But I was also constantly anxious and stressed out. It was NT until I discovered some evidence-based study techniques that I was able to get straight A's in my classes, while only studying for half the amount of time. So today, I'm going to share one thing that you might be doing wrong when studying, which is spending too much time rereading your notes and highlighting your textbook. And I'll share instead what you should be doing instead, which is so much more effective, but most people don't do it. The first thing you might be doing wrong is spending too much time rereading your notes and highlighting your textbook. Now, both of these things can be helpful sometimes, but if you're doing them for more than 10 minutes at a time, you're probably better off doing something else. The main reason why rereading and highlighting are not that effective is that they are passive activities that don't require much effort or critical thinking. Our brain loves multisensory activities where we are engaging with the material and processing it in different ways. So rereading and highlighting over and over again does really stimulate our brain, and therefore it's not that effective. On top of that, rereading and highlighting are often used by people who feel like they do and understand the material well enough. So they keep rereading their notes or highlighting their textbook in hopes that it will sink in. However, it's actually quite the opposite. If you're rereading and highlighting a lot, it probably means that you didn't fully grasp the concepts the first time around. So instead of trying to understand it better, you're just trying to brute force it by rereading and highlighting even more. So what should you do instead? You should replace rereading and highlighting with active recall and spaced repetition. Active recall is a study technique where you actively try to retrieve information from your brain. This can be done through various methods such as flashcards, practice questions, or even just closing your eyes and trying to remember everything you learned in a chapter. The key here is that you reactively trying to pull information out of your brain instead of passively reading it over and over again. After you've done a round of active recall, it's helpful to take some time to review the material again. However, instead of rereading your notes, you can highlight the parts you found difficult or confusing. This way, you reactively engaging with the material and only rereading the parts you need to focus on. In addition to active recall and spaced repetition, it's also important to take breaks and get sleep. When you're studying, your brain is working hard to process new information and make connections between different concepts. Sleep helps your brain consolidate all of this new information, so it's important to get enough rest. Taking breaks also gives your brain a chance to relax and recharge, so you can come back to your studies feeling refreshed and focused. Now, I want to be clear that there is no one right way to study. Everyone learns differently, and what works for one person may not work for another. However, if you're struggling with your grades or just want to try something new, then I highly recommend giving active recall and spaced repetition a try. These techniques have been shown to be very effective in a variety of studies, and I personally have found that they help me learn faster and more effectively than traditional studying methods. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. I post videos every week on productivity and time management, so if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.